Well, we've completed the teardown, rebuilding, and reassembly of the 20-inch planer. And we've installed a new carbide spiral cutter head. So now we got to go through and do a plethora.
Would you say I have a plethora?
Of adjustments to make sure that everything is cutting right and that it's level this way and we're not going to get any snipe and it feeds the wood through and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into that. Okay, to start out, we need a couple of tools. So the first thing you're going to need are two blocks. They're like this, just wooden blocks. Now I planed these as a single piece, okay, on my planer this way. So after I measured them with my digital caliper, these are exactly the same height, and that's important. Okay, these are about 12 inches long. They're about 1 3/4. And we're gonna, the first thing we're gonna do is make sure that the table is parallel to the cutter head so that one side isn't getting cut more than the other. Okay, here's how we do that. So we have these rollers down. So it's not sitting on the rollers, all right? It's sitting on the table. And we put this guy all the way through, and we put this guy all the way through so they're sticking out the other side. Make sure that they're also, that you got some on the infeed table, some on the outfeed table. All right, so 12 inches long, they're plenty long for that. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to crank this up until it just touches the cutter head. And the segmented cutter head goes in a spiral, so you gotta make sure you're getting the lowest one. We also have the infeed and the outfeed rollers up. So we know we got them cranked up over here. So we know that we are, that the cutter head and not the rollers are touching first. So this is gonna be very hard for you to see, but I'm gonna try to do it. Okay, so I'm looking down here, right, I'm turning it up right here, right about there. Yeah, they're just touching. I can just wiggle them a tiny bit. Okay, and we want to make sure that this side is hitting the cutter head exactly the same time that this side is. All right, how do we adjust that? Down here, on one of the legs, there is an adjustment right here. So this has it's a big Acme thread, and this has a fine thread in it. So what we do is we turn this with a pipe wrench, and that will raise and lower just this side. Okay? So we'll get a wrench on there and we'll turn that. And now this side is just touching just like the other side. Now we're gonna check it again. By turning this wheel. Yep, that's perfect. So now we know we have the table parallel this way. All right, so let's just crank this down, get these guys out. Okay, the next check, the next adjustment that we have to make is we're going to adjust both the infeed roller right here and the outfeed roller right here, so that they are both parallel and at the right height. The right height, according to the manual, is 1 millimeter, or about 40 thou, okay, down from the cutter head. These are spring loaded, so if they're a little lower, what'll happen is they'll move up under spring tension, those heavy springs that are on the side here, and that's what will grab the wood and feed it through. Okay, so the manual says not to mess with the spring tension itself. So we're not going to do that to begin with. When I took it apart, I made note of how much thread was sticking out the bottom of the adjustment screw, and I put it back to about that same area. With some testing, we might adjust that a little bit. If it's not feeding in, or it's feeding in like that, we'll crank those screws down and put more tension on it. And we may have to get a little bigger bite here. But that is kind of trial and error, okay? I'm going to leave it set to about where the factory was when I start. So now we have to adjust the infeed and the outfeed height and the amount that they're parallel, because we're going to say that the spring tension is okay for right now. How do we do that? Well, there's stop screws right here. This side casting is being pulled down hard by those springs. So this is the adjustment that we make. It's got a lock screw on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use those 2 pieces of wood, or 2 gauge blocks, and we're going to set this guy parallel and at the proper depth. The proper depth is 1 millimeter below, 1 millimeter lower than the cutter head. So what I'll do is I'll put my gauge blocks in there. I'll crank this up until they just touch. Okay, they're just touching. Both of them are. I can still move them a little bit. And now I'm going to crank it down 1 millimeter. How do I know what 1 millimeter is? Okay, I could use a feeler gauge and measure out 40 thou, but I have kind of adjusted, my Mark 1 eyeball is pretty good, so I'm going to move her down 1 millimeter. All right, we got her down. We got her down 1 millimeter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lower both sides, this side and this side. We're going to lower it until we just touch that stop block, and then the infeed roller will be 1 millimeter lower than the cutter head. 14 millimeter wrenches, undo the lock screws. Okay, a lock screw is undone. Now we're just going to turn this counterclockwise. We're going to unscrew it, and the spring pressure is going to hold that guy down. He's going to pull this side down until we're just 1 millimeter. That's perfect right there. Okay, and now we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to do the same with this guy right here. It's the same setup. We're going to lower it down until that's 1 millimeter below. And then what we're going to do is go around to the outfeed roller, and we're going to do the same right here and right here. Now we have both the infeed and the outfeed rollers adjusted to 1 millimeter, 40 thousandths, below the height of the cutter head. So now the last adjustment that we're going to make is the table rollers. That's these guys right in here. Those table rollers facilitate the material moving through the planer. If you didn't have them, the rollers would have a harder time just rubbing it against the table and pulling the stock through, especially if it's rough. But with these rollers, they'll roll and help the powered rollers feed the material through the planer. How do we adjust those? Those are down here with these bolts right here. There's one here, there's one back there, there's one back there, and there's one here. So this is the infeed table roller, and the one on the far side is the outfeed table roller. We're going to do the same thing. You can see they got lock nuts on them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to loosen those lock nuts, and then we're going to screw this in and out to raise and lower the table roller. We're going to make sure that it's the right height above the table, which is, they say, about 16 thou at max and 3 thou at minimum. And we're going to make sure that they're parallel. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to take one of these guys, okay, and we're going to roll it across, and you can see how that roller is not rolling. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to adjust that We're going to move that up till it just barely rolls when we roll this very flat piece of wood across it. So another 14 millimeter wrench. I'll go down here. I'm loosening the lock nut, and now I'm adjusting the height of the roller. Let's go up a little bit. Let's see how we're doing now. I'm pushing down on this piece of wood and I'm rolling it over the roller. Let's see. Okay, now you can see the roller's rolling now, so I'm making contact. And now I'm finished, and it's just a little bit. There's probably 5 thou of contact in there. Again, if you wanted to be super anal and you knew this thing was flat, you could get a either a rotator that they use to do that, or I have tools that I can measure that with. But I always just do it by feel. Or if you don't have that kind of stuff, you could literally get a feeler gauge underneath there and use a feeler gauge a little bit. Again, get it to where you think it is, and then when you do some experiments when running the first couple of pieces of wood through, you'll know how that goes. So now we have to do the same on this side. I'm going to do that right now underneath here. I'm loosening up the lock screw and I'm rolling them up a little bit. Right there. Okay, so now let's see if this guy rolls on this side. Let's get you in here and see if we can see it. Sure enough, he rolls. And how much? Is it exactly the same as the other side? My feel says yes. Okay? Again, if we're rolling it through and it goes one way or the other on our experiments, we can always adjust that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get 2 wrenches, 2 14 millimeter wrenches. And I always hold the bolt, the adjustment bolt, with one wrench while I tighten down the lock nut with the other wrench. That way I can be assured that the bolt is not spinning and getting my adjustment off while I tighten the lock nut. There you have it. Those are the main adjustments for this. Now, your mileage may vary depending on the exact model that you have. My other 20-inch planer back there, the table rollers are on an eccentric, and you got to use a Allen wrench to get in there and lock them down and screw them up and down. You can do it. It's just much more tedious than this one. This one, simple jack bolt. That's all there is to it. That's why I like this one better. Same thing with the infeed outfeed rollers and the their adjustment on that other one is just more tedious. Additionally, it's a lot more tedious to adjust the table on that one because it has a chain drive and it's just a lot more tedious. So this will work with the Grizzly 24-inch one. I don't think Grizzly makes a 20-inch one of these. Or any similar model to this one. That is why, honestly, I like this one better. The way the table goes up and down, the adjustments are easier, and it's all gear driven over here. So, do your experiments. Be very careful when you start. Take light cuts. Use a don't run oak through it right away. And if it doesn't go through straight, it wants to turn on you. Either your table rollers are not parallel and one side is putting more force on it that will cause it to turn, or your infeed and outfeed rollers are not parallel. It'll do the same thing. Same thing with the amount of distance you want the infeed and outfeed rollers below the cutter head. If you got some really fuzzy wood or something, you might have to put that down. If it's super rough sawn, you might have to put that down to get a little more pressure on it. Or, if you have a lot of stuff is playing the hit and miss when you get it, a lot of lumber stock is, maybe you want to put a little less pressure on it. That's all up to you and your experiments that run that when you run your first couple of pieces through. You'll learn to know what's what in very short order. So there you have it. Can't wait to put this thing into production. And I'm going to do that probably later today. I got a couple hundred board feet of mahogany that I got up plane. So thanks for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, you want to see more, please like and more importantly subscribe. That really helps me. So good luck with yours.